Real talk, the phone interview is the most important interview in the entire job search process. Why? Because it's your chance to get the recruiter on your side, someone advocating for you as a candidate. What's good, y'all? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Coach Roundtree. On this channel, I post interview tips and career advice to help you elevate your game. Today, we're talking about the most important job interview, and that's the phone interview. So you might be asking me, Coach, why is the phone interview so important? It's typically the first interview in my job search process. Well, because that's your chance to connect with your recruiter. You need your recruiter advocating for your candidacy in the rooms that you're not in. They need to be speaking highly of your qualifications, your fit with the culture, and just the energy that you bring to the game. So that's why it's the most important. Here are 5 tips to ace your next phone interview. Tip number 1 is the most important: high energy. When you get on that phone call, if they're at a 5 on their energy level, when they say, "How you doing, Marcus?" "I'm doing great. Thank you so much. I've been excited about this call all week. I can't wait to learn more about this opportunity." They have to match your 10. But if they get on the phone and they're like, "Hey, Marcus, is now a good time?" "Yeah, it's a good time for us to talk." They got to stay at 2. So the first thing you need to do, because you're not in person with the recruiter, is your energy needs to be at a 10. They need to know you're excited about that job. In fact, a recruiter once said to me in my career, "Marcus, enthusiasm for a job can get you places you will not imagine." So that's the first tip. Be excited that you're interviewing for this job, excited about the company, and that energy should ooze through that phone call. Tip number 2 is to ask great questions. Towards the end of the phone interview, the recruiter is going to say, "Hey, I've asked you a bunch of questions. Do you have any questions for me?" What you don't want to say is, "Oh, no, I'm good." This is your chance to show you've done your homework. So always ask at least 3 questions using the acronym NCC. N is for next steps. I'll always ask, what are the next steps in the hiring process? So you can understand how many times do you have to meet with folks to get an offer letter. Is it phone interview, panel interview, meet with the VP, and then offer? So that mentally you can understand the process. Next C is a current event. Always read the company website, look at LinkedIn posts for different leaders, and then earnings release. If it's a publicly traded company, 4 times a year they'll report their earnings, their results to Wall Street. Listen to that call, y'all. It's typically about an hour long. You can find the transcript, or you can actually search for it on YouTube or on the company website on their investor relations. I've got so many insights from the company, and whenever you bring that to the table, it sets you apart from other candidates. Who's listening to the earnings call? And sometimes the recruiter or the hiring manager may not even be listening to the earnings call. So set yourself apart by listening to the earnings call and bringing that to your job interview. You might say, "Hey, I was listening to the earnings call, and I understand that loyalty is a big focus for the growth of the company. In this role, will I get a chance to help drive and scale that strategy?" Nobody's asking those questions, y'all. Make sure you ask great questions. And the last question you should ask would be about the culture. Ask them, "Hey, how would you describe the culture? What's been your experience like working at the company?" That will give you deep insights into how people play the game and just understanding the culture. The third tip is to wear headphones during a phone interview. Now, this is a pro tip. Make sure you have your AirPods on when you're taking the phone interview so you have your hands free to take notes. You're like, "Coach, why do I need to take notes?" Because you want to start documenting the types of answers you give to each question so you don't repeat them. This is a game changer. Let's say you're on the phone interview and the recruiter says, "Hey, tell me about a time when you failed." And you give an example of a product launch that you had as a marketing manager and the sales didn't perform well. Document that in your notes during the phone interview. So if you ask the same question in the panel interview and they said, "Hey, Marcus, tell me about a time when you failed," you know you've already used that for the phone interview, so you can't repeat that. Because at the end of all your interviews, there's going to be a debrief. And they're going to ask the recruiter, "What did you hear?" They're going to ask your marketing partners, "What did you hear?" They're going to ask the hiring manager. You need to have different STAR demos or STAR method answers that you've given throughout the process, so they're not just repeating the same thing over and over again. But if you don't use headphones so you can take notes during the phone interview, you're not going to capture that data to really show you have so many different examples throughout your career, not just one answer for every time you're asked a specific question. Tip number 4 is to prepare at least 3 STAR method answers to common interview questions. If you never heard the STAR method, it stands for situation, task, action, result. It is the GOAT way to respond to any job interview questions. For example, if during the phone interview the recruiter says, "Hey Marcus, tell me about a time when you led a team," I immediately snap into the STAR method to answer that interview question. Situation: while working at company XYZ, I was a loyalty marketing manager responsible for acquiring new loyalty members. Task: during the Q4 season, we started to see a decline in signups for our loyalty program. I need to figure out why that was happening. Action: the first action I took was to collaborate with my design, technology, and email team to understand what email communications have we sent out in the last 30 days. I also want to understand from my technology team, were there any bugs in the sign up process that may result in someone not being able to sign up for the loyalty program? And I also wanted to know from a design perspective, how are we talking about the brand across our marketing channels? End result: I was able to uncover that there was a bug in the sign up flow on our website and within our app that was not allowing people to hit submit and sign up for a loyalty program. Once we resolved this issue, we saw our signups increase 15% over the next 2 weeks. Team, that's the level you want to get when you're answering questions during a job interview. That's off the dome because I had so many reps practicing the STAR method that it just comes to me naturally. I want you to have that level of preparation even for your phone interview. And tip number 5 is take your phone interview in a quiet place. No distractions. This is the most important job interview, and you need to make sure you're locked in a quiet place. No distractions. You shouldn't be in your car. You shouldn't be driving somewhere. You should be in a quiet place where you can sit there, lock in, and have an engaging conversation. Team, I hope this was helpful. If it was, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you comment below and let me know if there's anything I can do to help you prepare for your next phone interview, and I need your help. Please subscribe to this channel and share it with a family and friend so that they can also achieve their career goals, and I'll see you next time.